In this episode, I'm going to provide a wrap-up of the recent AMA held by the Atlas Earth team last week. So if you weren't able to watch the full hour-long AMA over on the Atlas Earth channel and you want the abridged version, please stand by. Hey, all you Atlas Earthlings. Once again, this is Bronze Dragon coming at you saying, thanks for dropping by. As always, I do appreciate the time you spend with me. Please leave a like on the video to let the YouTube algorithm know that you like this kind of content. And also subscribe if you're not already subscribed. If you are, thanks a lot. Okay, let's dive in. I had to do this video tonight. The recent AMA from Sami and team that happened last week. It took them several days to go ahead and edit and post it online on their channel. So if you want to watch the full version, you can go over to the official Atlas Earth YouTube channel and check it out. It is worth a watch, but I wanted to go ahead and give a kind of a wrap up, my takeaways from this video. Now, I might have missed a few things, but I think overall I hit everything pretty good as far as what they were talking about. It was more than an hour long, and they talked about a lot of different things. So in this short video, short for me, I'm going to hit on a lot of topics. So get ready, buckle in, because here we go. Okay, they started off talking about the arcade. Somebody had asked a question, and what the answer was is the arcade is an exclusive contract. Somebody had asked about, problems with games and game selection and all these common things we talk about on a usual basis. What it boils down to is the arcade is an exclusive contract with the company that provides the arcade games, and it will not be changing for a while. He seemed to infer that it was a little bit more of a lengthy contract. Next up, Atlas Travel now sells theme park tickets. So you can go through through Atlas Travel and buy popular attraction theme park tickets here in the United States. He said there is a little bit of an issue with it. They will email and text you with the ticket information, but for some reason it doesn't show up under the app as under your ticketing. But it goes through, it's just there's a bug with it. And they're not putting that information out there because they're not really happy with how that's working, and it's not a really good experience. But you can still buy theme park tickets under Atlas Travel if you want to take your family out to a theme park this summer here in the States. Now, the interactive feed is still coming, and they expanded upon this, and he talked about this too at great length about the interesting thing. The thing he stated was it was almost like a TikTok-like goal. He has this plan of making Atlas Earth from the game it is today, which has morphed over the last year or two, and slowly go towards a kind of a social media type experience. It has the game woven in, plus a lot of different other things, and that is what they're working on with the interactive feed. You will be able to post things like this. He talked about this a lot. It was very interesting to me. His overall kind of dream picture of how the game is going to morph. He talked about how Facebook and TikTok and these type of things are so last generation. The next generation of social media he envisions to be something like what Atlas Earth is going to become, which is a combination of games and being able to earn off of doing lots of different things within your life. So I found that interesting. The bonus note there is tips will be available. So this is, for instance, social media creators like myself. I'll be able to post a video on there, and then you can watch it on there, and you can tip me if you want to tip me one Atlas buck because you like the video. And also, if you're on the social media interactive feed watching videos, you also have the random chance of winning Atlas bucks. So it's a win-win situation. Love that idea. Next up, landmarks. Okay, they're still working on landmarks, and yes, he said they're still slated for this year if all goes well. The problems being that they haven't worked everything out yet. The badge, if you get a landmark, they're trying to iron everything out so it is more of a fair not only the whales will have the chance to get the landmarks, in other words, okay? If you get a landmark, it's going to be for good. Nobody's going to be able to take it away from you, unlike being a mayor or a governor or something like that. Getting a landmark, you will get badge income. So somebody comes to your landmark, is within a certain range of your landmark, they'll be able to buy your badge. You will get a certain cut of that. Plus, you will get the rent off of whatever that land is producing. TBD, everything's still in the works, but they're trying to iron it out so that obviously probably the bigger landmarks the whales will get, but they're trying to iron it out so other landmarks will, average players might have the option to be able to go ahead and get, and this will be in auction style, and they're developing the auctions right along with the landmarks because they'll be debuted at the same time. The auctions will be slated to last a few days. He didn't put any number on it, and they will be token based. If you've used these auction type websites where you have to pay for tokens, he didn't say pay. I don't know how the tokens will be received, how they will be earned. Maybe you buy them without the Atlas, but basically what it does is it encourages people to constantly be interacting with the auction, because every time you put a bid in, it costs a token, and then the auction is extended for 10 minutes. And then, like, if it goes a certain amount of time without any bids coming in, then the auction is over, that type of thing. But it's still being worked on, and it's still top of mind. And they talked a little bit about trivia. Somebody asked about trivia. It is currently still slated to be worked on, and he talked about it a little bit, but it is low priority compared to the other things I just mentioned. Someone asked about the referral program. Currently, the referral program is being changed over to a new provider, and it's expected hopefully by the end of 2025. So what we're going through here now is they were unhappy with the current provider that worked the referral program for them, and they're switching over. So there's this time period in between where there's like no provider, even though the old codes still work. If you have an old code, the URLs and stuff like that don't work anymore. So that's the reason behind that, and that's a very popular question lately. And lastly, on this slide, I found it very interesting that Sami pointed out that the game went from 15,000 users to more than 100,000 in the time frame between 2022 to 2025. And he's talked about some statistics. I didn't take them down, but basically the game is very popular at this point in time, has gained a lot of steam, and this is, like I talked about in the last episode, this is why they are revamping and improving things in the game. Okay, next up, Super Mini Games Saturdays are planned for 2 times per month, and they're planned for nationwide or worldwide. Now, outside of the United States, they will have 3 mini games. Here in the States, we have whatever it was, 5 or something like that. I don't know the reasoning behind it, but that's what they said they're starting out. That might change over time, but the takeaway here is look for Super Mini Game Saturdays twice a month to help you out on your challenge ladder, or if you're good at those. Okay, next up, they talked a little bit about the Atlas Earth business model. Okay, this is talked about a lot when people are like, hey, I'm from outside the United States. Why do we only get 1 Atlas buck per ad? And why is our pot for the mini games much smaller, etc.? So this is what he was talking about. Their business model gives back. In other words, some of the Atlas bucks that are earned by the company through buying and stuff like that, some of the money goes back into paying out the prizes for these mini games. And they went into a little bit of detail, the fact that some markets just don't pay enough, okay, to cover, excuse me, to cover the prizes that are going out at the end of the mini games. He cited South Africa and Northern Ireland in example. And then he went on and said, but there's enough ad revenue coming in from the U.S. that kind of covers the others. So the U.S. is pulling those along and paying those type of rates so everybody can have prizes. Now, with that said, it's also in the works where they're thinking about combining markets and changing leaderboards. So everything in this game is in flux. So you can like not be surprised if things change. So they're talking about combining different markets. So like maybe, for instance, all the different areas within the UK, combining that all into one area, and then everybody's on one leaderboard, something like that, where the ad rates come up and everything is a little bit more even there. So that's just a brief example, but there are other examples of combinations, and also maybe getting rid of the state leaderboards, which don't make a whole lot of sense outside of the United States, that kind of thing. So the takeaway here is that they're thinking about and planning on redoing how mini games and their payouts are done. And that leads right into the next thing. Mini games are being redesigned. He flat out said that when they first started, they didn't expect this game to do as well as it did, and they designed the mini games, and they just basically need to be redesigned. So along with the reskin and re-artwork of the overall Atlas Earth, they are in the works of redoing the mini games and figuring out how they can be better presented, etc. So once again, don't be surprised if you see, redesigned mini games along the way. Okay, now that led to some comments about recent anonymous multi-account minigame logins being from overseas or outside the United States. So apparently there's a lot of occurrence of accounts that are multi-accounting, people that are multi-accounting, which is against the terms of service, and logging in from different countries, like logging in and playing the games in Australia, and then 5 hours later, 6 hours later, logging in the UK and playing. So these type of things, he specifically said they are being tracked. He has those. They are recorded and they're being investigated. So don't be surprised, if you are outside the United States and you've seen a lot of this type of activity. They've talked about this before in the past. They like to get everything on record, record what's going on, track everything down, figure out what's happening and who's doing it. And don't be surprised, along the way, they said people are getting banned. So don't be surprised if you see these people that are at the top of the score charts and all of a sudden they're gone. Okay. So don't think you can get away with this type of cheating for too long. It's not worth it to me because, I'm in it for the long haul. And, he just wanted to wrap that up saying they're very security minded. They just like to have their ducks in a row before they take action. Okay, so next up, there is a new member on the Atlas Earth team, and she was specifically hired to work on the AMP program, which I found very interesting. And not only that, not only is the AMP expansion here in the States still on track to happen within the 2025, they are creating a whole different, they are packaging their AMP program because they developed it in-house, and they're going to be licensing it out to other studios that do this type of work, that have games or platforms like this. I found that very interesting. And they briefly talked about, he briefly talked about the AMP expansion outside the United States. It all comes down to credit cards. There's some countries that it's probably just not going to happen in. The next likely countries he listed is probably Canada and the UK because their credit card rules are kind of similar to United States. I'm not going to dig in deep to that, and I'm not going to make any promises. He just briefly explained that. There's a lot of things that go into it. So hopefully it's still being worked on, but like I said, no promises. Okay, so I knew I threw a lot at you, and I was trying to keep this as short as possible. I just wanted to bring you up to date. My takeaway here is huge, okay? I'm feeling very good about the game after hearing Sami talk about it in this AMA. He was very positive, and his overarching dream or picture for where this game slash platform is going just amazed me. I didn't think that he was thinking that far out as far as taking it from just a game and making it a complete platform, social media platform. Okay, so I'm not going to be able to go over and express it as good as him. So if this interested you, interested you, go check out the full version over on the Atlas Earth YouTube channel and hear all the details he had to say. Otherwise, this has been Bronze Dragon. I hope everyone on your side is happy and healthy. And out of this big list I just threw at you, let me know in the comments what you're looking forward to the most. I'll see you in Atlas Earth.